Husker fans, Nebraska still hasn't named their next head coach. The season's got 2 games left. That decision's going to be coming before we know it. We might have thought it was going to happen this past Monday. We maybe thought it was going to happen a couple weeks ago Thursday. Regardless, it hasn't happened yet. Who that decision may be, we don't know. It could be Matt Rule, could be Mickey Joseph, it could be Lance Leipold, could be whoever. Urban Meyer, Deion Sanders. But one name that I want to talk about today is a name that we're starting to hear some, building up some steam, and that is Army's Jeff Monken. And it's not just fan speculation, oh, this is a guy that we want, bring back the option, fullbacks. But this is a name that's getting reported by insiders, by media, big media members. And so I think it's warrant talking about and looking at and seeing, is this somebody that is going to get Nebraska to where they need to be? And I've got some strong takes, and there's a lot of people out there, and there's this thought of, Nebraska needs to be different. Nebraska's tried to be Ohio State, tried to be one of these big boys. And in this current climate, in Nebraska's situation, it just hasn't worked. And so this thought of, hey, we need to go out and we need to be different. We need to be something that's different. Nebraska in its heyday was an option-based offense. And back then there was a little bit more, but even still, Nebraska was still in their offense, even with Frank Solich in the 2000s, it was still not, they were one of the few teams doing that. And that's where Nebraska made its hay. And there's some people that say, hey, we need to go back there. And so the notion, the thought of Nebraska going back and running a triple option offense is enticing. But I don't know if it's a great fit. But I'm torn. I'm torn because I don't think it's a good fit. I'll get into why in just a second. But that being said, Nebraska's going to be 3-9 this year. They were 3-9 last year. I mean, when's the last time Nebraska's been to a bowl game? Was it the Music City Bowl against Tennessee under Mike Riley? Was there one that he went to? It's been so long that you have to kind of think, when's Nebraska been to a bowl game last? And if they do hire Monken, which I'm not a big fan of, once again, I'll tell you in a bit, but if they get to winning, does that all that's matter? And it does. So like I said, I'm not a big fan of this move for a variety of reasons. And who knows, they may very well not even hire him, and this is all for naught. But the thing you got to think about with Nebraska is where they're at in NIL. NIL is a major part of college football right now. And the schools, we look at a school like Tennessee. Tennessee is back because their coach is really good, but also they've got a pretty strong collective that's willing to pump money into delivering these recruits. And that's what NIL is for, really, is to get you're not supposed to say it this way, but to get recruits and transfers. And if Nebraska does hire Jeff Monken and he runs his triple option offense, what's the purpose of having a collective like that? And I think Nebraska is poised to have one of the top NLI games in the Big Ten. I mean, you got Ohio State. We're not going to get to that level. You got, what else is out there? I'm sure Michigan State's got something. Penn State's got something. Who knows what Michigan's doing? But just even the schools in the current Big Ten West. Minnesota's not going to get to where we are. Iowa's not playing the game. Wisconsin's not going to play the game. So Nebraska's poised, if they get the right coach, they've got the money to go out and get the players that they want. But if you're running a triple option offense, you're not going to go get that quarterback. You're not going to go get those receivers. We've seen that. Georgia Tech was in one of the most fertile recruiting areas when they were with Paul Johnson. And yeah, they had a year where they had 10 wins, 11 wins, went to the ACC championship game, went to a BCS bowl, whatever. But they were never able to sustain that success, and they never got the talent that to win at a high level. And I think getting him would kind of cap you, and you'd be squandering this opportunity. Now, I've had people say, because you think about it, that Jeff Monken comes from that triple option, that flex bone. They've got the two wing backs on the side, fullback short right behind. You're running the motions, running the triple option, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch Army and Navy. And yeah, that could pose a different threat to teams, and they've got to really challenge it. But once again, I think you're capping what Nebraska's potential could be. And so, I've had these conversations. I've had people say, well, Brian, they're not going to. Jeff Monken, he knows where he's going. He's going to run more of a Coastal Carolina style triple option. Right? If you haven't watched Coastal Carolina and you're a hardcore old school Nebraska fan, go watch them. Modernized triple option attack. I think it'd do wonders here. But you're saying, oh, hey, Monken's going to go run that system. But he's never ran it. So you're saying, hey, come here. Come to Nebraska. We want you. But go learn that person's offense. That doesn't work. Why would you hire someone who runs? And maybe he comes in here and says, hey, I've got to run an offense like that. We're going to take Coastal Carolina's offensive coordinator. We're going to bring him in here. He's going to install it. We're going to blend our systems together. We don't know. But all I know is Jeff Monken at Army, at Georgia Southern, or Georgia State, one of the two, when he was at Georgia Tech, when he was at Navy, they ran the triple option. And, I think Nebraska could utilize and be different and be a different scheme and do something, but I don't think it'd go into that true triple flex bone offense is where it's at. I really liked what Nebraska did last year. With Adrian Martinez, and you're motioning Samari Toure and Levi Falk and Omar Manning, you're motioning him to the back and running triple option. A lot of that stuff really worked. Maybe we shouldn't have got rid of those coaches. But I think running something like that at Nebraska would have some success. I think you've got to focus. The Big Ten is a line of scrimmage league. And Nebraska has not been a line of scrimmage team since Solich. And I think getting back to that is important, but I don't think you have to go all the way back to that triple option. And I like the option. I think it could give Nebraska an advantage, but once again, I don't think it's that flex bone. And so who knows? Maybe Jeff Monken, he's got some ties to Trev Alberts because of Alberts' his son. And maybe Trev Alberts really likes him, and that's why we're hearing his name. But if he is the next head coach at Nebraska, I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to jump off the ship. But I'm going to be a little disappointed just because I think it's really capping what Nebraska could be. And it's squandering an opportunity that of what they could be. And who knows, maybe Nebraska hires Bill O'Brien or Matt Rule and they totally flame out and we continue to sit in sorrow. But I think we shouldn't try to go back to something or go to something just because it harkens back to that old time. I'm not saying that Nebraska never ran that flex bone. But that's what really kind of worries me if they were to go in that Jeff Monken type route.